Today on Drink, Smoke, Build, we're going to be doing some harvesting of basil, peppermint, and lettuce. Today on Drink, Smoke, Build. Welcome back to the channel, you guys. I'm Billy D. This is Drink, Smoke, Build. And today, in our latest edition of our organic garden box episodes, we're going to be going through and doing our first harvest. Now, we have multiple crops, as you guys know, growing in all of my 6 garden boxes, but my main focus is going to be the cannabis plants. So everything I have around them needs to be a good companion plant to the cannabis plant. So right now we have lettuce, which is not really a great companion plant because it does have a tendency to draw in caterpillars and other worms. So we're going to go through and we're going to cut all of those completely off and not allow any regrowth. We are going to leave the roots in the soil. We have peppers, we're going to leave those alone. We have a whole bunch of basil and peppermint. That basil and peppermint I want to keep in the beds, but it's getting so big, so tall that it's drowning out some of my other plants. So what I'm going to do is cut them down all to the original 2 nodes on the bottom so that it can continue to grow out, but it brings that growth down to the bottom of the bed, allowing sunlight to get to the rest of the plants. Then the other crop that we're going to be harvesting is actually not harvesting, going to be planting in a different area so that it's not drawing nutrients out of our beds, is going to be the rest of the tomato plants. So we're going to take those tomato plants and put them in pots, which I'll show you right now. So all of these pots here are going to be where we transplant the rest of these tomatoes, and I am going to be growing these out to make sauce with here in the fall. Now, I'm going to go ahead and show you my setup on how we are going to harvest the basil and the peppermint and what we're going to do there. So go ahead and flip this around and show you the 2 pools here. The one on the right is going to be the pre-pool. I'm actually going to take some of the organic insecticide that I made in a previous video, which I'll leave a link in the description below. Going to put just a very small amount of that in that first pool or tub, whatever it is that you want to use, and then I'm going to be throwing all of the basil and peppermint and lettuce actually into this, washing it, and then flipping it over into the other clean pool, spraying it off, and then drying the basil and the peppermint, and then taking the salad greens and spinning those in a salad spinner, and then putting that together in a salad for you guys here at the end of the video. So that's what we've got going on: the basil, the lettuce, the peppermints, the tomato plants. Gonna get all of those harvested, transferred over, and hopefully free up our beds to allow more growth and more controlled growth. So what I'm going to do now is take you through and show you where I'm going to harvest from on the peppermint, basil, and the lettuce, and then show you a transplant of a tomato, and then the rest of it we're going to do in time lapse. So we're going to start in this bed here and start with taking the lettuce off and harvesting out some of this peppermint here, and then taking this tomato out and putting it in a bucket. Now, I've already pre-mixed soil that I bought for the tomatoes. All of my compost, as you guys know, has ended up in these beds, so I won't really have any planting dirt until next year when my current compost is ready to go. So let's go ahead and zoom down here to the lettuce and get that out. So we're going to take it off all the way at the bottom, making sure we don't leave any nodes left, but I am going to take a little bit more, throw that in the compost, and we'll take the lettuce itself, throw it in the bath, and then go spin it. Now with the peppermint, we want to take as much of the plant as possible, but still leave enough for it to continue growing. So there are a couple of nodes and runners down here. We are going to take right here, leaving a lot of this growth in place, and then we can also train it down to cover the ground more if we like. So we'll go ahead and take that and wash that as well, and then hang those up to dry. All right, now let's go ahead and transplant one of our tomato plants. I like to try to not disturb the root system as much as possible. So I try to cut a plug out. And then pry it up. Hopefully not completely destroying the root ball. Actually did a pretty decent job. That'll go in the bucket, and then we will fill in dirt around that. And then of course, when transferring any plant into a pot or from a pot to an outdoor garden, you want to make sure that you give it plenty of water right after you transplant it. And there you go. Now we're going to do the rest in time lapse. Okay, so there we go. Stage one, harvesting the lettuce and then washing it, rinsing it is done. Now we've got to take it in, spin it. You want to do this really quickly so that it doesn't get slimy or wilt on you. So we're going to take this in real quick, spin it up, put it in the fridge, and then we'll make a salad with it later. After we finish up spinning the lettuce, then we'll get back out here and harvest all of the peppermint and the basil, and we'll do that on time lapse next. Okay, so there you have it. Basil, peppermint, harvested, washed. Yes, I did use a cardboard box. That is because I am going to let them dry for a few minutes, not for a long amount of time, because we don't want the water inside the plant to start molding. So for a few minutes, gonna leave it like this. We're gonna take a quick break, and then we are going to hang those, bundle them, hang them, and let them dry in a temperature controlled environment. Probably not going to get to the tomato transplanting this episode because we have thunderstorms moving in, lots of lightning and thunderstorms, so I'm going to take everything inside, and if this passes while we still have daylight, then I'll come back out and we'll do the tomatoes. Otherwise, it's going to end on me eating a salad from our salad greens that we harvested earlier, which I completely spun out, and I'll show you that. We got 4 2-gallon freezer bags full of lettuce, so definitely more than what my family will be able to eat in a week or so. So I'm going to be giving away 3 of those bags to friends and neighbors. Okay, so we're back after some thunderstorms moved through and did end up dropping about a 1/4 inch of rain on our garden, which is absolutely wonderful considering we just pruned. Definitely going to help all of the plants that are left in the boxes to perk right up here overnight. So pretty stoked about that. Of course, we're going to water them a little bit more here in the evening on our normal water schedule since we didn't get that much rain. But since it's passed over and we have about an hour or so of daylight left, so we're going to go ahead and get those tomatoes transferred from the garden boxes to the big pots behind me on the garden cart and move those to a different part of the yard so that we are not attracting pests to our cannabis plants. All right, let's go ahead and do that in time lapse. So there we are. There is our complete bounty from this harvest, this first harvest of the summer. We've got 4 big old Ziploc bags full of lettuce. And then we've got an entire banana box full of herbs, our peppermint and our basil. Now, a lot of you may be wondering why I harvested them together, wash them together, put them in this box together, and then I'm going to be hanging and dry them together. Well, that's because I'm going to be processing them together and infusing them into some peanut oil for my organic insecticide that I have talked to you guys about in the past. So I'm going to be processing it together. That's why I've harvested it together. So let's go ahead and get ourselves a salad made up and much on down to that as we end this video. And there you have it. The salad is complete. Everything in this salad, with the exception of the dressing and the Parmesan cheese, came directly out of a garden on this property. Of course, you saw us early in the video harvest the lettuce and then the cherry tomatoes, and cucumbers actually come from another garden that we have on the property that has been producing throughout this entire first part of the summer. So let's go ahead and have a drink and get into this salad, shall we?
You know, there's nothing like taking the time, the effort to put in to make something grow, whether it be literally or figuratively, and then reap the rewards of that harvest. And that is why I love gardening. That is why I love growing my own food, my own medicine. I have put in a lot of hard work over these last few months, and it all culminates into this first harvest for me right now, and just enjoying the benefits of doing your own gardening and eating food that you have prepared and grown yourself. So I want to thank you guys for watching. Hey, what's wrong, buddy? You want some salad? So I want to thank you guys for watching. Don't forget, hit that subscribe button if you have not already. Mashy on the like button. Don't forget to share. And then, of course, click on that notification bell
thank you guys for joining me today as we went through and harvested and then benefited from that harvest. Love you guys. Billy D on Drink Smoke Build is gonna eat on out of here. We'll see you guys next time.